Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode on the Growth Project podcast, a podcast for you if you're ready to make a real impact in this lifetime. Whether you're looking to start your own business, travel the world, or simply live life with more purpose, the Growth Project podcast will guide you every step of the way. Hosted by motivational speaker, life coach, and self-proclaimed truth dealer, Cherise Fierce, you can be sure that the Growth Project podcast will guide you in a progressive and authentic way towards your highest, most badass, unapologetic self. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for the ride. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Growth Project. My name is Cherise and I am your host. So as usual, I always want to say a welcome to any of my new listeners and a welcome again to any of my day ones. And I wanted to make this quick little intro so that no one is confused on my podcast. This is an episode that I recorded before. I had previously tried to upload it 2 times and it wasn't working because the file was corrupted. So this is my third and final attempt to post this episode. Thank you for everyone who reached out and let me know that this episode wasn't working. Every time you clicked on it, it would just bring you to another episode. That led me to, getting it fixed, fixing the audio, learning something new, and re-uploading for you guys. I think this episode is just so important, and it's just still so relevant to today. Like, even today, I have friends, colleagues, and clients who are going through burnout, who are going through just like guilt around resting, guilt around not working, or just who feel like they just always need to be doing something and pushing themselves. And this is just the conditioning that we have in this world, and the very masculine driven world that we live in, and the whole like hard work is the only way to do anything. And the fact is, a lot of us are really just burning ourselves out and using, or like I would like to say, abusing our bodies sometimes. So I still think this episode is super relevant, and this is why I'm trying to upload it again for the 3rd time. So I hope you guys love it, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. On today's episode, we are going to dive right in. As my day ones, as my OGs can tell, I haven't made an episode in like maybe about 3 weeks to 4 weeks. So let's say a little month off. And while like most of it has been very like intentional, there still was a small part of it. A small part of it was because like I was not inspired. I was making episodes. So I was sitting down, I would make an episode, and like at the end of the episode, I would just like barely even save it, or just be like, no, that's not it. Or just, I wouldn't, to be honest, I didn't even listen back to any of the episodes that I made within like the past month. I should probably listen to them, just to make sure that I wasn't like just being hard on myself, and see if there's any gems in there or anything like that. But yeah, I would just sit down, record, and just be like, no. So, yeah, I realized that like I wasn't inspired. I wasn't saying like anything that was really coming from like my heart. No, I was speaking from the heart, but I don't know. I just feel like the messages weren't hitting. They were just not it for me. Sorry if you hear a little bit of noise, but yeah, there was just like not it for me. So, like 2 weeks ago, I ended up going on a social media break. So I took a social media break for about like 2 weeks because like I needed to get like a lot of things in order, and I was feeling like overwhelmed for some reason. I just couldn't like relax. So I took a little break, and It was so good. It was so good. I got to like I reorganized my closet, like yeah, I just got like those kind of things that I would usually like leave till like the last minute. I got them done. I was like I also tried out like just ordering groceries for the first time too, to just see how all of that worked. Not everything is available to be ordered, but it was okay. Like on a week where, either life is hard or you're super busy and you need to like order groceries and it's like 10 to $15 more, like do what you gotta do. But I tried that out. And then afterwards I just took care of like any like pressing like things that I was like previously ignoring or like procrastinating on, or just like, things that, yeah, they were important, but I was just like too overwhelmed to do them. So yeah, like basically just get my life back in order. That's what I did like on my 2 weeks off, and worked on just finding like a little bit more structure for myself, and structure with like creating an online presence, and structuring my day to like support my life and support my lifestyle instead of just like being consumed by my day. So I also got to be like, I was testing out being intentionally lazy. So I would just have days where I would just do like absolutely nothing. And like, not like nothing, like just stay in bed. It's just like absolutely nothing that I need to do. Only things that I want to do. And that's for me is being intentionally lazy. It's just like, if I wanted to lounge, I would lounge. If I wanted to pick up a book, I would have to pick up the book. I had no obligations that day. And to be honest, I love that day. I love that day. I got to be a super lazy fuck and do whatever I wanted to do. I looked at the new Cinderella on Amazon. I looked at all different things. Like, I just read for pleasure. I ordered in food. Like the most I had to do was just pick up any mess that I did around the place, or yeah, like that was the most that I had to do. And I really allowed myself to just be like intentionally lazy, whereas like before I would be like lazy but then I would feel like shit at the end of the day. This time, by being intentionally lazy, I ended up feeling super, super good at the end of the day. And I even told my boyfriend that I'm like completely lazy today. I'm doing a lazy day. Don't bother me. I don't have any obligations today. So if there's anything that needs to be done, put it on a list for tomorrow or remind me tomorrow. But nothing's getting done today. And it's not nothing's getting done, but it's just like I am not doing anything for like productivity reasons. I'm not doing anything because it'll make, things more productive in a sense or whatever. I'm only doing things because I actually want to do them and enjoy doing them, and they're actually gonna fill me up right now, and it's for no particular reason. So I guess that's what this episode is gonna be a little bit about, like why intentional rest is like so important, how to make sure we're not like on the path to burnout, because like we have to remember we're all products of society, and like there's some people like they believe like I gotta get ahead, I gotta do what I gotta do, I gotta put in like every single hour, I gotta overachieve, I gotta be perfect, and they go until burnout. So making sure that we're not on the path to burnout, or we're not like over subscribing to the productivity obsessed culture that we live in. There comes a time when you can tell that we're productivity like obsessed, and everything that we do is to be more like productive, more efficient, more like go forward. Like we barely do anything anymore to just have fun and to just enjoy the thing. Like the thing always needs to give us something. So that's what this episode's gonna be about. Intentional rest, making sure that you're not oversubscribed to hustle culture, aka hustle and grind culture, aka if you have free time and you're not making money or doing something that is productive, then what are you doing? What are you doing, right? Those are like I like motivational stuff really and truly, but I hate those motivational things that are just like, if you have the time to lie down, like, you're calm down. Like, nobody needs to be like hustling and bustling every single fucking moment of the day. And like, those things are equally as harmful to us. People that are just like, okay, but I don't want to be hustling and bustling every day. Like, why is that wrong? They are made to feel wrong and made to feel like they don't want enough. Not everybody like literally wants to be billionaires and millionaires. Like, that lifestyle comes with its own problems, and not everybody wants to be there. It's just that life has conditioned us, the society has conditioned us to believe that that is the only like vision of success. And if you're not a billionaire, then who are you in this world? There are always going to be people above you and stuff like that. And that's such a fucked up way of thinking, because there's people, if you gave them $500,000 right now and a source of income that was relatively easy to them, they'd fucking take it and be very, very happy and build a house, build a business, have income for their kids and their grandkids. There's certain people with 1 million, they'll be set. Certain people, it's just, and it's not even a question of money. It's about the lifestyle, basically. Not everybody wants, a super like glamorous lifestyle. Not everybody wants that. Some people would prefer to freaking live away from society on a farm, making their own food, and their neighbor is like 2 minutes down the road, 3 minutes down the road type of thing, and live with their family and live in a really like there's some people, that's the type of lifestyle that they want. And just having this weird, just like one version of like success, whatever, it just puts so much pressure on us and just has us feeling like we're not doing anything. So when these people say like, oh, you have to be extraordinary to be successful, or only extraordinary people do this, like, I get what they mean. It's like, yeah, you have to rise above the fear, you have to have courage, and you have to go after the things that you want. But is that like extraordinary? I guess it's only extraordinary because like not everyone does it, but everyone could do it. So it's like everyone could like learn how to manage fear and be more courageous and go after the things that they want and believing it like wholeheartedly. Everyone has the capability to do that. So if these things are what's truly backing success, then to go out there and just say like, you just gotta get up and do it, personally, that kind of advice has never worked for me. If anyone had told me like, you just gotta do it, you just gotta wake up, I just dismiss this person, because I'm just like, clearly you don't know what I'm dealing with, clearly you don't know what I'm struggling with. For certain people, it's harder to wake up than others. A lot of people are dealing with different things. There's people with like low blood pressure, there's people with chronic fatigue, there's people with ADHD, all different neurodivergence. And just like to just say like, oh, get up, do it, you're just lazy, you're just this, to me personally, it's like, that's just a judgment. And on top of that, oops, someone's calling me. No, I'm sorry, I put my phone on do not disturb. Yeah, but yeah, just to like, for anyone to say that just means to me that like, one, you don't really care, you are not compassionate, you don't know how to empathize with me, and you're taking the easy way out. That's the easy way out, just to give the advice that that's life. No, that's the easy way out. When you don't ask questions, you'll never know what something really is like. So anyways, as you guys can tell, I really like don't believe in like putting your whole life on hold right now, ignoring your body, ignoring your mental needs, like ignoring your mental health, ignoring your physical needs, literally not even taking care of your body for some future life where you're gonna have it all, where you're gonna have all the money, all the everything. To me, that doesn't make any sense. There are some people that literally work so hard, and they push their bodies to like extreme measures, and I always look at that like, why are you doing that? For what? Like, heart problems, they're not created overnight. Like the amount of stress, the amount of problems, the amount of like tension that you are building up in your body, if you believe that you can always go on like this without blowing up, you are crazy. Like, no, 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 no. And sometimes like these are like people, they have such good intentions. They have such good intentions. Like they just want to, work hard, take care of their families, make money. And that's why I'm like, we're all products of society. But to neglect, if you are currently like neglecting your health, neglecting your mental health, getting up every day, faking it, smiling, even though you feel like crap, and you're not telling anyone about it, and you're still going to work, doing that thing, like neglecting so much parts of your life, like drinking a coffee, smoking weed, or like watching Netflix is not going to help that. It's not going to make that better. You're just like pushing it away, but it's always going to come back and come back and come back. And it's like you're always going to be in this anxious state. So, and why are we even doing that? Why are we pushing ourselves beyond these measures? Like I said, it's for that lifestyle, that pipe dream that we all believe that we need to be millionaires and that we all need to like be a millionaire, be a billionaire, or die trying, right? And there is like this sort of concept too that it's like the harder you work, like the better of a human you are, right? The more productive of a human you are, the more lovable you are. It's so fucked up. And this is like old, like this is like internalized beliefs from since like, I even want to say like the industrial age, but I feel like it's even before that. Like weird ass beliefs that trickle down through time. But I know that for sure industrial age really brought this on. It's like the more that you work and the more of work that you give your life, like the more that you prioritize work, the more that you work. And they used to have people working in factories for like 14-16 hours in a day, like so immoral, so unethical. But they would be like, you want that future, you want that dream life, all you have to do is work more hours, and you're gonna get closer to that. And that's really messed up because we still have that internalized belief that the more we work, the better we are, and the better. Honestly, when you like study humans and you study humanity and society, it's really crazy. It's really wild, the shit that we let like pass, when you look out in nature. And this is why I'm learning more and more trust. And like it might seem crazy to some other people because they're just like, they can't see further than their own nose, right? So they cannot hold the vision that, let's say, I would have, the vision of a couple years, the vision of where I can be in a couple years, the vision of where the world can be in a couple years. They can't, because they can't even envision anything other than the routine that they're currently in, the way that life is for them. And that's like what we call closed-mindedness, is because you literally don't let your mind roam anymore. You don't even wonder about things anymore. You just accept things like the way they are, in a sense, or not even the way they are, the way you think they are, and you don't ever question anything. And anyways, what I was saying is that when I look in nature, there is like no fucking animals that work every single day, like all the time, always hustling and bustling for their future. There's like no animal that does that. They're always chilling, they're lounging, they'll look for food, they'll eat, they'll chillax. If they don't need to be doing nothing, they don't be doing nothing. All is handled. Like they know that like when spring comes, this is happening. When this comes, this is happening. Like they have so much trust that nature provides, which it does, because if we have a life here, then there is enough life to sustain us. That's just how it works. These are rules of the realm. they're not tripping themselves out. But us, which we are supposed to be on a higher dimension than animals, we're stressing the fuck out. We're supposed to be masters of this land, and we're stressing the fuck out running in 25 different directions when you have a lion that spends all of his day, like literally king of the fucking jungle, spends most of his day lying, lounging, and roaring. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? It's because we make our lives complicated. To be honest, we make our lives extremely complicated because of some of the things that we want, and innovation and just human nature. But all I'm saying is that rest has its part in like society and in everyday life. And when I say rest, I'm not talking about sleep. To me, yes, sleep is for the body and all of that, but for me, mostly sleep is for the mind to not be awake and be receiving information. Rest is more for the body in my sense. It's just relaxation, you know what I mean? And rest is equally as important. It's needed. It is our right to rest. We don't actually have to fill up every single waking moment with something productive or something to quote unquote better our future. Okay, there's like no pressure to do that. The future will be met when we meet it anyways. We all don't even know how long we have on this planet, so it's like, yes, it's good, make those investments, do those things to secure your future. But if you're going into like a job or a field where you absolutely hate or you have no passion for it, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this to secure my future, please don't do that. Like, the amount of dread and the amount of like negative experiences and heartache and just like depression and lack of motivation and lack of purpose that you're gonna feel after years and years of doing something that literally drains you is not worth it for quote unquote securing their future or securing the bag. It's like, we kind of have to get out of this mentality that like we cannot do things that we like for money, because again, we have this mentality that money is bad. So if money is bad, how can we receive money for things that we like, right? Doesn't make sense. So now we have two competing beliefs in our head, and we really gotta straighten that out, because we can make money for the things that we like to do. And I know everybody thinks like you don't have to be a coach, you don't have to do nails or hair and stuff like that. You just have to figure out what you're good at, what you like to do, where you can provide value for someone else. Because anything that you can do that someone else doesn't want to do, you can charge for it. Anyways, you guys know me. I'm always like going off on a tangent, going off and like you haven't like I'm wondering if I should share this here right now. I definitely believe that I'm neurodivergent, which means that I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I for the longest while I've told my parents, I've told my mom, I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. I have looked at all of the symptoms and do like those online thingies to be diagnosed with ADHD in an adult, and I'm pretty sure that I'm neurodivergent. I know that just because of the way that like things work in my brain. Anyways, one of the things is that I always tell a story and I will keep track of the story, but there's always a tiny little side story in the story or a tangent in the story, but I'll always come back and it'll always make sense. So anyways, back to the original point of rest and all of that. If you are doing something that you're dreading or anything like that, that you know that you don't want to do to like secure the future, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's better to be a tiny bit uncomfortable right now and choose something that you like, that you love, and then find ways to make that work. And that's just going to be so much more fulfilling. to you and to anyone, to be honest. Like, doing something that you don't mind doing every single day, or doing something that you actually like and that you can improve on, like, what's better than that? Please tell me. There's like nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that. Definitely, it's definitely not working for people that you hate, or working for a job that you hate. And no one can convince me of that anymore. But it sounds so safe when we're in it. It sounds so safe and so normal when we're in it. But once you're like past that belief, you're just like, that's crazy. That's the opposite of joy. That's the opposite of like a fulfilling life. That is literally that's depression. That's depression. Doing something that you don't like every single day, that drains all of your energy, is depression, and leads to depression and apathy. And I remember when I was at my lowest point, when I was at my lowest, and I remember, like, I just couldn't do it anymore. It was like taking every single thing in me to not pretend that I was like, to pretend. It was taking everything in me to pretend that like I was not like dying inside, that I was not just numb and feeling absolutely nothing. Like, I would have to smile and pretend that I was okay, but inside, either there was days where I was like aching or suffering, or there's just other days that I just felt absolutely nothing. Like, I would get up, I would go to work, I would do what I needed to do, and I would just be not there. I would just be blank as fuck. And you couldn't tell by looking at me, but inside it was like that. And I remember just, there was like a week or something like that, I just woke up and like every single day I was just like, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. And it wasn't because of my job, it was because of my mental state. And the job didn't help. Again, don't forget, when we're doing these things that drain us and you're depressed, really not good. So anyways, when you get to that point where you're just so overwhelmed, you're not thinking straight, you're working so hard, you're doing so much, but you still feel like you're not doing enough, and like you can't see headway, your to-do list looks longer than ever, nothing is getting done on the list that you need to get done, you're just putting in so much effort and so much mental work, and you're not actually seeing the results, and it can put you in like a weird spin where you just get kind of scattered. If you're feeling like that, you absolutely need a break. I know like taking a break or like taking a day off or something like that, it's like so taboo in like today's world. Like literally there is like, even in the workplace, there would be managers that would look down on certain associates because they take a sick day, or because they're like, I'm sick and I won't be able to come in for the next 2 days, even if they give like proper notice. Like, there's still managers that would like look down, and companies that look down on associates that take all their sick days, that take like all their vacation. And that's so crazy, because those are literally our rights. And it's just that pressure to always be productive, and that pressure to like prioritize work and our jobs over everything, on our mental health. And like, I'm sorry, but if I'm not here tomorrow, or if I die, like, my work and the company that I'm working for will continue, and they probably won't even send any money for they'll just send over my last 2 weeks paycheck and my 4%. Like, that is all. That is what they'll do. They're not going to do anything more. And I'm talking about in terms of the company. It depends on your status and whatnot. But in terms of company policies, like, they won't do more for like a part-time, full-time associate. So if you, like I said, you're feeling like that overwhelming, scattered feeling, you need to take a break. You need to allow yourself to take a true, real break. Even if it's a day off, like, take a effing day off, or 2 days. Have one day where you're literally just so like intentionally lazy, where you only do things that you want to do, where you don't do things out of obligation, and maybe have another day where you just do things that are like super important for you to do and maybe urgent that you just felt like you didn't have the time to do because you've been in this like race of just like trying to figure it out every day but still feeling like you're behind even though you're putting so much effort in. So just taking that 1 week that turned into 2 weeks, actually it was like 2 weeks. I was like, I'll give myself 2 weeks, but it turned into a 2 week and a half. I just had the time to like get my life a little bit in order, take care of my body, take care of my health, take care of me, take care of the things that are important in my life, and even take care of some pressing things that I've been putting off and that I convinced myself was not as important as like whatever it is I was working on right now. And that's the thing that being like too busy can do to you. It really like clutters your mental space and it fucks with your capacity to make like this like good decisions sometimes, because you're just so tired and you're so stressed and worried and all of that. And like sometimes you're so stressed and worried that like you forget to eat, or you don't eat, or you just eat the same junk every day just because like whether or not it's a good decision for you or whether or not you believe you should be doing that, you're just so tired and sometimes even so spaced out and just so like over it that you can just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make this decision anyways, whether or not it's good for you. So it just fucks with your capacity to make decisions, good decisions not based out of like survival. So that brings me to the last point of like why resting, taking a break, and being lazy can even be a little bit beneficial to you. And no, like you do not need to fill up all of your free time with things that are productive. It is so much more important to live life and to find joy and passion in our daily lives. And like I said, if we can align that with our work, that's even better. Obviously, there's no such thing as a perfect life. Life is dual, but like putting things on our side and helping us like creating joy and stuff in our life so that when hard times come, which they do, we can have so much joy and still like stuff like that in our lives to help us weather the storm. And not just like when hard times come, we're just like already so burnt out, already just have nothing in our life, right? No friends, no support systems, no connections, nothing. And it's just like so much more terrible in a way. And I'm like, this is so dark. I don't even know why I'm making you guys feel like this. But by resting and by being lazy and by just taking that time for yourself and taking time to take care of yourself, it really frees up your mind to wonder. It really does increase the wonder and the magic in your life. And I can definitely say that. Being a quote unquote, like I'm redefining lazy right now, but being a quote unquote lazy girl, I can definitely tell you that sometimes slowing down is where you can see the true magic in life because you're forced to be present. And that's why there's a difference between being regular lazy and intentionally lazy. And when you're intentionally lazy, you do see a lot of magic and you have the time to have a lot of wonder and let your brain just, your imagination flow and not feel guilty for it after, because it is like the guilt after that fucks us up and makes us feel like we were so unproductive with our day and we didn't do anything. But as human beings and as spiritual beings, this is part of our existence here. We're supposed to wonder, we're supposed to imagine, we're supposed to want to create like our desires and our lives and stuff like that. That's why we imagine the crazy things in our head, so that we can get inspired to go out there and do it, use our physical bodies in the physical world to do it and achieve it and have it and be it. Well, we be it first, but you know what I mean. And when you give yourself that time to just like take a break, calm down, and slow down, you actually allow yourself to be more creative. And just like allowing myself that time, for real, I did get inspired. I got inspired to do this podcast. I got inspired to do another podcast that's going to be a little like a life update that I'm going to do with you guys. But resting and allowing yourself to be inspired for creativity. Like, if you've been feeling uninspired lately, or you're just feeling like you have writer's block or whatever, or just nothing's making sense to whatever you want to do, I swear to you, just stop doing that thing for like 1 or 2 days. Please, please, please trust me and give yourself a guilt-free day where you're just gonna do things out of that, whatever it is. Focus on other things, clean up your room, clean up your closet, do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Go get groceries, buy the fucking outfit that you needed to buy for your friend's thing. Do all of those little things that you've just been mentally pushing out and just saying later, that is now like overwhelming you the fuck, like on a subconscious level. Do all of those things, but most importantly, just take time to chill the fuck out. Enjoy your time off and just like do things that are interesting to you. And I promise you, like take like 2 or a couple, like however your life and what's available. But I think anyone can take 2 days off. To be honest, I think anyone can take 2 days off, and it's not a huge deal. Okay, I know your boss makes it seem like a huge deal, but it's not that huge of a deal. I should know, being a manager for tens and thousands of years. But do that, and I swear to you, on the 3rd day, you're gonna be so much more refreshed and ready to take on whatever it is that you were like overwhelmed with tackling. And the thing is that it's kind of like a boomerang, or like an arrow. Like, sometimes you do gotta pull back, sometimes you do gotta slow down so that you can go further. If you're just always pushing yourself, you're always running on like overdrive. You're always running kind of even also on E. So just giving your body and your mind and all of that, your energy, just time to replenish is just so important and so vital. And like I said, you're going to see your creativity coming back. You're going to be inspired. You're going to see the true magic in life. And you're going to be just, like I said, just ready to tackle on whatever. Most of the times, like during that period, just so many ideas were coming to me. So, and previously I was just like, I'm blocked. Like, I'm not inspired. I'm not this. And just after taking some time off, I just have like so many ideas. And cultivating rest, play, time to just be and exist without having to produce anything in this world is completely our divine right. And it's part of the life that we should be having, and part of the experience that we should be having here during this time. So I know it's hard. I know it goes against like all of this programming that we have in our head that we're not supposed to have fun, right? Like, when is the last time we were supposed to have fun? Like, after 8 or 9, we're just like not supposed to have fun anymore. We always had to think about our future and just future, but it's like fun and joy and play and just doing things for the fun of it and solely for the experience is literally why we're here, and part of like, and it's just like makes life so interesting. So I challenge all of you to have, at least after listening to this episode, at least to have one effing lazy day. Honestly, I literally don't care if you have to call out of work, or maybe you can be on your next day off, but I don't care. Use a sick day, or if you're at home, just have a day where you do absolutely nothing, where you're intentionally lazy, and you will not scold yourself, not even once. In your brain, you will not critic yourself, not even once. In your brain, if that happens, you stop yourself and you're like, nope, this is a day that I get to enjoy whatever it is that I want to enjoy, and I will not criticize myself. I will not hate myself for it. I do not need to produce anything to be worthy, to be alive. I am worthy just like this, and I am not even allowed, but it is my divine right. It is my right to have a day off. Like, we're working so hard. We're doing all of the things. When I say that it is your right to take a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, or whatever you want in your life, you get to choose. Do you think that in 25 years from now, you're going to criticize yourself for taking 5 days off when you were on the brink of freaking losing it? Or you're gonna first of all, you probably won't even remember that, but you're gonna remember if you forced yourself to go past your breaking point and, you know, ended up burnt out, or ended up like super sick, or just having your body just like fail on you or whatever. So that is all for today. Rest has its place in our world, and we have to start releasing the guilt and the shame that we have around it. Okay, that's my episode for today. I hope you guys liked this one. I know it was a little bit, I don't think it's controversial, but I know it's not something that I've talked about before. So if you guys like it, please screenshot this, tag me on Instagram at Cherise Fierce, and let me know what was your favorite part of this episode. If you agree with my sentiments, if you're also anti like productivity obsessed culture, like, definitely talk to me. I have so many thoughts about this. I have so many perspectives on this, and I just want to get them out there. I'm actually so excited for that. So come talk to me at Cherise Fierce, and let me know on Instagram what you guys like, and if you want to hear more of this subject and my thoughts and my perspectives on rest and laziness and its purpose in our community. So thank you guys so much for listening. See you next time.